to the City of Idaho Springs, August 12th, 2024 work session. The very dependable Jeremy Jones will not be able to be with us tonight because of his deployment location. And we have three things tonight on the work session. And we'll start off with the land exchange ballot measure for Virginia Canyon Mountain Bike Park. Did everybody have a chance to review that language? I personally thought it was about as straightforward as we could word that. If there's anybody watching at home, there's no cherry picking of property. It really is very similar property for similar property, almost identical acreage down to about 1/100th of an acre. And really it made the mountain bike park easier to lay out, and it more follows the natural line of Gilson Gulch with just a straight line on the map. So I don't think that will be controversial, although there are just folks that may mistrust government and think that it may not be optimal. The reason we have to go to the voters, of course, is because it's a park property, except for that 1/100th of an acre. Anything further there, Andy, on that?
Just that there will be a resolution for council consideration of approval at the meeting on the 26th. And that will be to adopt the ballot measure, to submit the ballot measure for the general election this fall. And then also approving the intergovernmental agreement with the county to have a coordinated election. So that resolution, as I understand it, will be one resolution that will do all three of those items. So we just wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to be comfortable with this, see it, ask any questions, stump the attorney, that sort of thing at this meeting. And then really, because we do have to get it in by the next day to the county at 27th.
Right.
So.
All right. Any questions before I move on?
No, I think this is pretty clear, because I was reading the same eyeball that this is going to be very clear and straightforward. I think the important thing is pretty much a even Steven.
Yeah.
The city's not giving up.
No.
0.01.
Yeah. I really hope
I don't think we're losing all kinds of different things.
There we are working on a fact sheet which can help explain what we're doing, a little more detail on what the ballot measures is always a little challenging for the way they read. We want to make sure that the public, council first, and then the public knows what this is all about. Why should we do this? Why does it have to go to the election? That sort of thing. So we're working on
and this is one I really genuinely hope there's no con. I mean, I rack my brain, and it's only a pro. I can't even, there's no con in it.
May I ask for one clarification? You look at the map. What I think made your much easier for me the last time we discussed this was the two different color codings. Like here, the city is giving over. Here's what Mr. Young is giving over. So that when you put that fact sheet together, the color coding shows the parcels. Because this is not as easy as it's just black and white.
Yeah, black and white.
that last map was roughly 30 color coding. It worked.
Well, but
But we'll try to clean it up a little bit. No one's got the skills to help us with maps to do color. So when we do the fact sheet, then we'll attach that with the color so it'll clearly show what's coming to the city and what's going.
I think that would be seen.
Yeah, but I think people are very visual. They're going to want to actually see. Okay, well, why would you do this?
Yeah.
I think once you see the terrain and you see the Wilson Gulch there, and you say, oh yeah, this is not just an arbitrary straight line. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay, anything further?
Mayor, we do have Gary from Comba with us online, and he just wanted to give us, since we do have a little bit of time to see, just to give an update on where we are with the trail building and with some openings up the trails if you can.
Hey, Gary, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I wish I could actually be in person, but I-70 wasn't cooperating tonight, so
I know what you mean.
I'm having a little bit of trouble understanding you all. I'm getting it's a little more garbled than usual. I'm not sure what would have changed, but you guys kind of sound like you're underwater mostly. But I think the lead in there for me was just a quick update. Are you all able to hear me well enough?
Yeah, you sound good.
Well, thank you.
Is
So
that better, Gary? Is that better?
a little bit, yeah.
We turned off the fans.
Oh, maybe that was it. Okay. Well, you're definitely clearer now.
Okay, that's good to know for anybody else listening too.
How fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely picking you up a lot better now. So the Trails Project Phase 2, which brings in additional, new bike-only trails, additional multi-use hiking and hiking-only opportunities. This is basically the west side of the project, everything west of the trail that we call the climbing trail, which we're going to have to rethink and get used to calling the Rosa Gulch Trail again, which I think is the perfect name for it. So everything west of the Rosa Gulch Trail is what we are in punch list mode on right now, tightening up the final trail construction and any tweaks to features. Signs are being printed this week. We have our sign posts in place. So hopefully by the end of this week, early next week, we have actual wayfinding signs and trail information signs on the trails out there. That hopefully will include our first kiosk at the base of the system, which is what we affectionately call the upper bench of the lower landing there for the Argo, where they go up and drop their tourists off, their visitors to in the little bus they have. That's where the first kiosk will go. So basically, the main hurdles right now are finishing up on the newest trail that we all agreed to build up there, the what we call the emergency access trail. Its official name will be Morning Star, which I think you'll agree is a little more friendly than Emergency Access Trail. But that is a key component to opening the park. We want to make sure that we have that in place, that it's fully operational, and that we've had the opportunity to review that with both city and county emergency and first responders. We have that walkthrough planned for next Wednesday morning to do that walk with city and county officials for those kinds of reviews and exchange of information, give them trail maps and some ideas on what we think they'll need and where they're most likely to need to get to in the trail system at that point, and make sure that everybody's fully prepared. So those are kind of the remaining hit lists. We've had some internal dates that we've been circling on the calendar to drive our decision making and try to get things done and get people up there and get the public up there. We don't have hard dates for that, and we're still working with staff as well as business partners and the emergency responders to make sure that we've got a fully robust plan there for getting the public up on the trails safely and to have a good time. We're also working with business leaders on how to prepare for that and take advantage of this newfound traffic that we expect will show up pretty much day one once we allow people to come and enjoy the trail system. The other main thing there is a project Andy and I were just discussing a little while ago in terms of some temporary wayfinding throughout town that will help both visitors find the right places to leave their cars, and then once they've done that, how to successfully navigate the city from that spot to where the trail starts. Those will be temporary. We're going to call them temporary. My guess is that they'll be in place for the better part of a year until there are substantive changes to the Argo's layout, upper landing and lower landing, any other changes in parking, potentially phase 3 trails opening, those kinds of things. So feels like we're getting right there. The good news that came in from the Argo means that we will be having some additional funding to continue construction of the phase 3 trails. throughout the fall and winter, which is awesome news. And then I guess the last update would be that we are working with, I don't know, we have 5 or 6 corporate partners that are interested in participating and funding these trails to some degree. They're not going to be Trek kind of money, but we have the opportunity to, through a couple of bike giveaway fundraisers that we are organizing right now and potentially some other smaller grants, the $20,000-$30,000 kind of fundraisings that we can do that maybe, 3 or 4 of those are successful. You've got another 100 grand to go build trails with. So we're working on all those fronts currently.
All right, well, thank you for that update. Council, questions for Gary?
Do you have any, this is not so much a question for Gary, I don't think. Do you have any ideas about how we'd like to maybe help folks with bike valet or something like that? I know I've talked to some of you about this, about people that have $10,000 bikes and not gonna wanna leave them just, locked on the back of their cars. I just think this, if we want this to be something where people stay in town. Oh, so yeah, see.
Jerry, maybe you might have some thoughts on that. I know we've talked about that before with you, and certainly that's in your world. I think there's interest in the city to try to make something like that happen. I'm not sure how it would all come together, but maybe you might just give us a little more thoughts on that, what that might be valued by the biking community.
Yeah, I think there's tremendous value. It's not something that we see offered here in the Front Range much, and it's something that we advocate for quite a bit. We certainly have been advocating for that up in Blackhawk for the 4 years that we've been partnering with them as well. It's not always easy to find that solution, but the basic setup is that you've got someplace. I mean, I've seen it as down and dirty as just a chain link fenced area that you have an hourly employee that's there that can take, it's like a hat check or a coat check place, right? You're taking $5 or $10 from somebody and their bike and putting it in a safe space and you release it to them when they come back. That for a mountain biker, as you said, bikes easily now average probably 5 grand or more, and unfortunately with e-bikes you see $10,000 and $15,000 bikes. There isn't a chain in the world that makes you feel like that bike is comfortable. In fact, I've stopped locking my bike on the back of my car because it's a false sense of security. I pay a lot more attention and do better planning if I just think the bike is ready to be to lift it off the rack. So one of the ideas that we've talked about in previous conversations would be, especially once we have the parking decks in town, the Argo and the city's parking decks, those become really convenient places to find a nook where you can put up some chain link fence and some bike racks and again, if you're paying somebody $15 or $20 an hour, you only have to take in 2 bikes to cover that overhead. And I think the businesses will absolutely will definitely feel the difference in terms of the patronage and people's willingness to spend more time in town. They do make, by the way, they do make automated systems for that. It's not something that I've done a ton of research on, but think of paid parking for bikes where you roll your bike into a bike rack that locks it up securely and hit it with your credit card and it's just like parking your car. But the way they lock those up is more substantial than just chaining your bike to a bike rack or a light pole, and it keeps all the bikes in one spot. There's some pretty innovative answers out there in different parts of the world where they are more used to managing mass amounts of bikes, train stations and places like that. But it's something that, I think, the scope that I try to use for people to help them understand what happens when you open a new bike trail. We were seeing 2,300 riders a week at the most recent trail that opened in Jeffco at Lair of the Bear. So obviously that lasted for at least 6 months before the appetite died a little bit. But that's quite a few that you can expect, whatever that works out to, 300-400 a day, and probably 500 or 600 a day on the weekends. So there will be an influx. There will be additional cars and additional bikes, and you will feel the fruits of our labor over the last 7 years pretty quickly.
All right. Any further questions?
Thanks, Gary.
I will do a little bit of research to see if there's like an easy solution. Maybe we could reach out to the rec district as well. Maybe they have some ideas.
Do we know when the trails are supposed to open?
Gary,
We're looking for just before or just after Labor Day right now, depending on our punch list.
Can I request for Riverside down to the apartments and all through Sunnyside that we have more residential only parking signs almost like right now?
It's in the works.
very reasonable.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah, I've been suggesting that we basically try to stop cars from even crossing the bridge to Riverside, as much as we can do to just get them to commit to parking on Colorado Boulevard or other places and not even get back on Riverside. I think it will have a lot less impact on the residents.
That'd be great, Gary. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Gary. I appreciate the time as always.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I don't remember. Do we have something else to cover? Oh, the community event. I'll hang around for that conversation.
A little.
No.
Yeah, next up is the Argo and Virginia Canyon Mountain Park community event.
I'll take this one. We just had a meeting today with the Argo, Kamba, myself. Might be missing somebody, but Sadie. Now that she's back in town to talk about a community event to celebrate the opening of V Camp and the Argo. The Argo has that big tent that's set up that they had for their groundbreaking. And that was a smaller event, for invitation only. And Argo has offered, the tent's going to stay up for a little while longer. And they said, while it's still up, how about a community event? Mainly focused on the community and about V Camp and about the Argo. So this event will be on Thursday, September 5th from 5 to 7. And I'll send out more information. Sadie's putting together a flyer. It'll be co-sponsored by Mighty Argo, Kamba, and the city. So Thursday, September 5th, 5 to 7, under the big top there. There'll be live, the idea is that we have live music, drinks, and light snacks. Tommy Knockers, Steve Indris was also part of this call, and a couple other businesses are expressed willingness to be involved and to help. So it'll be very similar to the groundbreaking, but on a smaller scale. The schedule would be from 5 to 5:30. We'd have music, live music, people arriving, mingling. There would be a table for Kamba, a table or two for Argo, to have one-on-one conversations with those two organizations about the park and about the Argo project. And then there'd be a welcome message. Mayor, we'd like you to help with that if you would. The welcome message from the Argo and also from Kamba. And then Kind Mountain Band would continue for the rest of the evening until about 7. So it's designed to be for the community, very social. We want to also share our information about the park, what's in it for the community, what's been going on there, because some people have an idea and some may not have much of an idea about what's going on there. The one ask of the city is if the city would contribute $2,000 as a sponsorship of this event. We have Argo that's contributing. We have, I know for sure, Tommy Knockers will be contributing, I think, on drinks. And so I'd like to get permission from council to spend up to $2,000 for this event.
All right. Council, what do you think?
I really think getting information out there, because I know from what I'm hearing, I don't know that people necessarily see where it's going to benefit our community. So I would be willing to say yes for that reason, if we share information with people. Yes.
All right. Scott?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Kate?
Okay.
Janine?
Yeah, definitely, as long as it's like advertised, well, people get there, the people that need to know, or I know some people don't want to show up for an event, so as long as there's another way we get questions answered, or maybe some other format too.
So we're trying to make it more of a social event, but also share information as well, right? And not have too much like we're up there, people are up there speaking to the group, more like come as you are, have, go to the various stations, talk with people, mingle, find out what's going on.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I agree with Lisa. Give Janine that done. Get it up there.
Okay, anything further on the community event? All right, then that brings up the last item, the 2025 budget prep schedule.
Hang on one second, I'm gonna get, so you're familiar, most of you are familiar with this. This is the annual calendar for the budget preparation for 2025. We're halfway through the year, and believe it or not, we're already thinking about budget preparation for next fiscal year, which starts January 1st. So just wanted to give you an idea of what to expect. We typically will have a couple extra work sessions to get through it all, along with all the other business we have. The budget worksheets will be distributed to the department heads this week for them to fill out as far as the request for next year, and also what they expect to be spending at the end of the year this year's budget. On the 26th, I'll provide, as I usually do annually, an update on various projects as we go into thinking about next year. And then the budget requests will be, worksheets will be due back from the department's end of this month. And then the mayor and I, and perhaps the finance officer, will meet with department heads just to talk about their needs, their requests at a general level, and then give them some feedback. And then we'll come to council with those requests. Each department has an opportunity, the way we do it, to speak to their department, their operations, their needs. So each department will have time before council to talk about their needs for next year. And then the draft budget by statute is due to council by October 15th. So that is a hard deadline. We have to at least have a good draft of the budget to council by that time. Before that, we could just be working in pieces on it, which we usually do. We start putting it all together early October to create that draft budget, proposed budget. The budget, the availability of the budget for the public review is placed in the paper. And then we might have another work session or two to just finalize the budget. And then the adoption of the budget is on Monday, December 9th. That's where we actually adopt the final budget. Everything is done by then. It really has to be. We do have a public hearing that night. That's required. And then we also adopt the bill budget. So, and then once it's been adopted by council, it's filed with the state, another requirement that has to be done by January 31st. And then we get started with the new year. Any questions on that schedule? Let's just give you a preview of what's coming up.
Anybody? Questions for Andy? All right. I'm glad we only scheduled it for 30 minutes. Well, it is 6:53, so please take a comfort break, and we'll convene at 7 p.m. Regular council meeting for August 12th, 2024. We will call to order 7:02. And I'd like to start off with roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Jim Clark.
Yes, here.
Scott Pennell.
Sure.
Lisa Manifold. Here. Kate Collier. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones. Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Here. All please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be
Hey,
seated.
guys.
We have an agenda before us tonight. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the agenda for the August 12th, 2024 meeting.
Thank you, Janine. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Lisa. Any discussion of the agenda? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Does anyone tonight feel they have a conflict of interest? Hearing none, I will move on to approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes from July 29th, 2020.
Thank you, Scott. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Janine. Any discussion of the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand and signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we will move to approval of the bills. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve bills from July 23rd, 2024 through August 12th, 2024.
Thank you, Janine. Do I have a second? Second from Lisa. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Any discussion of the bills? Hearing none, now roll call, please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Do we have any public comment tonight? Either online or in person?
Nothing online.
Okay, well, thank you for checking. We don't have anything with liquor licensing. I believe our finance officer is not with us tonight either. So we are going to have a public hearing, which you see as resolution number 19. And this hearing will come to order. I'm going to note the time as 7:04. And this is a public hearing before City Council of the City of Idaho Springs on resolution number 19, series 2024, a resolution approving the Golden Egg Placer minor subdivision. The order of this hearing will be as follows. There will be a staff introduction and testimony. The applicant will be sworn in by the deputy city clerk. There will be public testimony, if any. This hearing is now declared open, and as officially it's 7:05 on the time we've opened it. Staff, I will ask for you to come up. Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, council. As you mentioned, the proposed subdivision to create 5 lots. For context, this is the property just north of the water plant property, a few miles up Highway 103. Property is zone C3, commercial interchange development. It's a commercial zoning district, and the uses on site currently is commercial, 11 cabins that are used for nightly commercial lodging. Also, some other outbuilding, caretaker's unit, a small lot with 5 units, a 5-unit complex that's also used on site. No proposed change in zoning or uses at this time. And I'll let the applicants who are here, Rachel Zuri Betts, provide more details if you'd like it on reasons behind the subdivision. But I will just go through the criteria and answer any questions at the end. So there's 5 criteria for a minor subdivision. The first of which is conformance with approved preliminary plat. Now this is not relevant to a minor subdivision because there's no preliminary plat. That's eliminated with a minor subdivision. Minor subdivisions are allowed for up to 5 lots. Or else you have to go through the entire subdivision process. So the second criteria would be conformance with subdivision regulations. Staff has found this to be met. The plat meets the requirements as listed for plat content. It also meets the requirements, qualifies a minor subdivision. All lots have frontage with streets meeting standards for code. All cabins have access via private driveway that's suitable for the fire district or our city engineer. All lots currently have adequate, will have adequate existing water and wastewater facility on sites for now. So staff believes that as far as those subdivision regulations are concerned, they're met at this time. Compliance with zoning districts are the next criteria. The zoning district is C3. Setbacks and height requirements for C3, as well as open space requirements, are all continue to be met with these lots. None of the lots are creating any non-conforming structures. Additionally, all uses on site are commercial in nature. There's no changes to zoning and such. There will be no non-conforming uses as far as our analysis has found. So that's met. The fourth is comprehensive plan compliance. Staff believes that this property currently does and will continue to meet master plan and comprehensive plan compliance. Chicago Creek area specifically is called out as promoting tourism related uses and hospitality. This certainly does that. Subdividing into multiple lots could create additional potential for uses if any of the properties change hands and are used for a different use in the future. That's still commercial. It supports tourism. It also may support incentivizing economic development and local business as local business owners. This will support their flexibility and ability to use the land as they wish. The final criterion is compliance with regulations for areas and activities of state interest. This is not incredibly relevant as it typically deals with things like highway projects or dam projects, things like that. It seeks to minimize noise, water, and air pollution and other environmental degradation. Staff believes that this proposal will mitigate any of that. I don't believe there to be any real concerns with any of those aspects. Given all that, and we also referred this out to a number of entities, any comments that were made will ultimately resolved. So they have no concerns with this application. And Planning Commission reviewed on August 7th and unanimously supported the recommendation for approval. So with that, staff recommends approval. We don't have any recommended conditions, and that is it for me.
Dylan, your report was very thorough. I just want to call on council if they have any questions for Dylan. All right, hearing none, thank you. And I will now call on the applicants, Rachel and Zuri. Welcome.
Can you please state your name for the record, please? Rachel, can you raise it right now? You swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So, initially when we started the minor subdivision, we were thinking to get approval to build some more cabins, but we got along in the process and it would be very involved to do that at this time. So we decided to just pursue the minor subdivision. We are not asking for any new uses, new construction, anything outside of what the city's regulations are. We're not asking for any variances. Just a basic minor subdivision. Our reasons are mostly for estate planning, so we have flexibility in sales in the future. We're facing a fair amount of challenge in insurance in a wildfire prone area. And because we are on the water, the flood insurance makes that even more challenging. So a lot of our decisions are just based on all of those challenging issues.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Does council have any questions for Rachel? Hearing none, thank you very much. I appreciate your testimony. All right, and I'm assuming there is no public, all right. Anything further before I close the hearing? All right, I will now declare the hearing closed at 7:12. Council, do we have any discussion?
No, it's always good to have, more places for people to stay, so I think it's awesome.
All right, I would agree with Kate's
Well,
sentiment.
we're not changing any zoning, so,
No.
Yeah,
nothing is
Yeah.
really
We're
shifting.
just separating it into lots.
yeah. All right, may I ask for a motion?
Move to approve resolution number 19, series 2024, a resolution approving the Golden Egg Placer minor subdivision.
Thank you, Kate, and do I have a second?
One second.
Second from Lisa, and any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold. Yes. Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate your time. And we will move to city attorney. By the way, we are going to have an executive session at the end of our meeting tonight. Just wondering, Dick, you didn't have anything regular, right?
Nothing.
Okay.
See everyone.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's good to have you.
Thank you.
City administrator, we do have two requests for motion. And may I have a motion on the first item for the road construction?
I move to approve a bid from FNF Construction, Inc. in the amount of $4,912,000. I can't say this. It's a lot. How do you say this? I don't even.
$305.
There you go. It makes me want to go really bad.
Yes.
For the Virginia Canyon Road and Virginia Virginia Street Phase 1 Utility Improvement Project as recommended by HDR Engineering.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second? Second from Scott. Any discussion? Hearing, I'm sorry.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, yeah.
All right, anything further?
Well, the only thing I can say is that when people ask me why all the streets are getting done at the same time,
Very good.
I brought this money up for now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, here you
This is
go.
what it costs
This
to
is it.
do.
This is
only half of it.
I know, that's my
Exactly.
point. That's my point.
Yeah.
So bear with us. We're doing the best.
All right, anything further? Hearing nothing further, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Yes. Jim Clark.
Yeah.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold. Yes. Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second item, and this is retaining the services of Sadie Schultz. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve an agreement for services with City Schultz in an amount not to exceed $17,100 for community and business promotion.
All right, thank you, Janine. Do I have a second? Second from Scott. And any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. All right. Dylan, you have nothing further to share tonight? All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. And then, Wonder, your report was excellent. I would like to point out that we're looking at about 5.8% increase in sales tax, which is always welcome. That actually does slightly exceed inflation, so that's a real gain. And we would certainly hope that continues. But thank you very much for that report. We'll look at police. Chief, got your report, another good one. Anything further to share tonight?
Just one thing, the sheriff department and the rest of the emergency responders are hosting an event this weekend in Idaho Springs called the C3 event. They stopped doing it when COVID happened. And so that'll be at the ball fields. They did do it last year. So that's this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 o'clock. And we'll have a number of people
All right, that's it. Yeah, thank you. Okay, then, we will move to, Public Works and, we got 2 requests for action. I'd like to start off with the bear resistant, containers. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the purchase of 40 Bear refuge containers from Barracuda in the amount of $59,462.56 from line item 21-00-6028.
Thank you, Scott. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Janine. And, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Yes. Tim Clark.
Yes.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes.
On the bear cans, I had one request from Barracuda. It came in after this report had already been turned in. They were asking for a 50% deposit to start this. It's pretty significant. He's actually questioning a lot about our email address, the addresses we were using. I think they're a little worried about some sort of scam going on here.
Wow. Well, I will, turn to Andy. Is there a problem with giving
There's
them?
not, as long as we have council's approval, occasionally we do that with vendors.
All right.
if requested.
All right, I mean, we don't have to take a official, call on this, but would everybody be okay if we paid, half?
Are they local or?
One of their shops is out of Canyon City, but the cans that are being made here are not being made at Canyons. No, they are being made in Canyon City, but their home office is in, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Have we already gotten a grant?
We have received.
Yes.
grant.
Didn't we get 50 of the 59, something like that? Or
Yes,
48 of 59?
50,000 of the 59 will be refunded. We got the work order for that from the state. And I'm keeping track. We have certain numbers on that work order that have to be kept on all this paperwork, the billing, the things of that nature. We're working on it.
And Paul, you were very clear, any graphics, I mean, that's on us.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. These are actually a little bit higher than when we initially proposed this about a year and a half ago. The material costs and labor costs have certainly gone up, but on the original quote, they had not included shipping either. And that's a significant portion of why this is exceeding that kind of 50,000. We were trying to stay within that 50,000, but I still think we're getting a really good deal. Spending $9,000 for
Yeah,
40
for
bear cans.
40, yeah, bear resistant, absolutely. Council, normally, we approve expenditures, but we frankly typically don't get involved in if it's 10% upfront or 50% upfront. I just want to make sure everybody's all right. If this particular vendor has requested half, if we give half, does anybody have an objection to that? All right, just making sure. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
Paul, just one other question. Are they looking for something more than a purchase order? Is that what I'm
No,
gathering?
the purchase order was fine. They did question about the address that was on the purchase order as opposed to addresses that I'd given them, as far as shipping and stuff. So the purchase order was fine. I think they were just a little hesitant to put in an order for 50 or for 40 bear cans and then somebody bails on them, flakes on them, something of that nature.
All right. Thank you. We have a first and a second, and there's no further discussion on this. Haven't done roll call on what we did. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, we got off track there. Now for the paving, public works lot. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve paving of the new Idaho Springs Public Works lot at 860 County Road 314 by AFAS patch for the amount of $139,090 from line item 23-00-6016.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Scott. And any discussion?
Did you get end up getting any other quotes?
I have not, and I still have not heard back from APC. I can, again, if you guys decline this, I can certainly go out and try and get more quotes. I was just trying to get this pavement done before we were actually moving in, and that was why I kind of sped this along. I realize I should have more quotes for you, but I'm pretty confident that AFAS patches is a really reasonable offer, a really reasonable price.
Is this a good time just to tell you that they might need a little bit more oversight when they're working? That's really when we take some good pictures next time they're working outside the library. Because there was 15 guys working for no less than 7 hours, and movement was not had at all times.
Is that a lot?
Yeah. So just let you know, I mean, I have no problem with patch, but I think this one, I just fast patch better. But I think it'd be good if we had a little bit of more oversight from the city when they're working.
Gotcha.
Yeah, thanks.
What were they doing that would, that's,
Smoking cigarettes,
It's not working.
not working. We were watching, like, pretty much everybody, not only
keep in mind,
employees,
they were on a bid price, so.
Yeah.
I'm
if they're
just
a big
saying,
Project.
there's 15 guys. That's why their bid price is so high.
There's
I'm just
usually-
saying,
it really
it
was.
is just our oversight, it is for us to make sure that they're working when they're working. And I know that it takes time, they have to put layers down, they have to pull, I do understand that process, but it was a lot. It was 7 hours, guys.
I did notice in your report that you did receive this one bid, but you felt it was on the lower side. I would also point out, we recently had paving work down there on 314. And I'm saying you have something comparable down there. And you still feel this was a good bid.
This square footage is about a third again larger than what we paid down there before with ACC, which was a real good price per square footage. And that job was done for 95,120.
So a third bigger, I mean, that's about where it ought to be. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Ms. Manifold. Yes. Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. All right, I'm sorry, one other thing, Paul, I'm gonna apologize to you in advance. I have had some back-to-back meetings since I've had this question. But a question from one of our constituents is if department heads answer their phone, and this is after hours, they were specifically talking about your department. I feel that you do, but I just, what is your normal procedure?
I answer my phone at all hours of the day. And if I've missed a call, it may be because I'm, maybe into something more of a personal nature or something. I could be in the shower. If it's after hours, I will try and touch base or answer the phone as often as possible. I have no issues with that.
Well, Paul, that's always been my experience, but the question was asked, and I thought I'd go ahead and ask you. I was pretty sure that's what you were going to say. So thank you very much. Anything further for Paul before we move on?
Yeah, I just want, you know about the pothole at the library, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm afraid I'm gonna drive into that one. But it's not sewer line, it's,
That was from the utility potholing that they've done.
yeah.
It's the fiber optic company. that
Didn't they also have one in the alley too?
There's a big hole
They had
next to the line.
Like there was
several.
one, there was a cone that was in the alley, and I think you said that was also.
I think we got most of them where in which alley.
So I'd be between 15 and 16. And then the tourism center.
We got most of those, and those weren't potholes. That was just asphalt degradation there.
There's a cone. It was bad.
And before we move to water facilities, I just want to say I appreciate all department heads. The dedication, answering a phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I know that's no fun, but thank you, a big thank you.
Before we move on here, I have gotten a lot of comments about the light bars at the crosswalk. Everybody really believes them. And the comment that I'm hearing is twofold. The first is, could we have them in all crosswalks? No, seriously, like, people really like them, particularly when in Colorado, because cars don't see you. But the one that I've heard several times in the last couple of weeks is the one in 16 in Colorado. That one, so I've been paying attention since I've heard that. There's a lot of foot traffic there. So, but that is the general request from the general constituency, is that can we have them on all of our crosswalks, because people really like them.
They do, and I am very happy that people are using the
They
heck out of them.
they do.
They are pushing those buttons. So I think we have absolutely made it safer for pedestrians.
Yeah, well, particularly because Colorado is so busy now.
Yeah,
Like, the more we can help people get across the street, the better, I think.
yeah,
I
100%.
did touch base with LED lighting, so we can get more of them that are on a different channel, so they're not interacting with the
Oh,
next near crosswalk and turning that one on as well. So that we can space these things out with different channels. So
That would
one
be
doesn't
good.
impact another. And if that's the route you guys would like to go, I had heard that a lot too. There's a big demand for more of those, and it's been well received.
it's been very well received, and just sort of side noting to that, I think that we're gonna have a lot more kids walking, because school has moved, and so I just think as we have more people on the streets, the better it will be for us.
And by the way, that suggestion came out of those economic conferences that we've been having, and the mixers. And we brought this up to Paul, and he was on it like within the month. We had prices, and council was approving it. So I'm saying that I think that was a good action. We got on quickly, and I do think that it has enhanced pedestrian safety.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very happy that people are using it. All right, we will move on to Water Facilities Department. And Ed, you've got one item, one request for action. And do I have a motion?
Sewer line monitoring equipment to Brownstone Engineering for $13,580. From line item number 52-72-732.
Thank you, Janine. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Lisa. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Jim Clark.
Yes.
Bob Pennell.
Yes.
Ms. Manifold. Nancy Collier. Yes. Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Hey, Ed, good report.
Thank you.
I just wanted to see if you had anything further to share with us tonight.
Well, the digesters are complete. The plant appears to that it's gonna be working better than it was before. The guys at Manny Dam are gonna start digging tomorrow
All right.
and knocking that down. We've got with them plans to work with the water plant to keep water to the town when they're gonna be doing stuff. Got my truck done.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be on vacation in July. So, but I'm unable to do that, and school starts Wednesday.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Which is just,
Time flies.
so I'm gonna be just kind of popping in and out, and then trying to just do work and not be take advantage of working from home. You know what I mean? Because I live here.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Let's see here. The only thing that I have is that we are not going to have another work session, a regular meeting until the 26th. And Janine tells us that she will be enjoying herself out of the country. So we'll be down, Janine, at that meeting.
I'll be out.
Oh, you'll be out? All right. So I really hope, for the sake of a quorum.
I'll be here.
All right.
I can make something happen.
All right.
One last thing too, you guys all a great mayor.
All right. That's good to know. Yes.
I'm going to Rockford, Illinois, from the 21st to the 23rd.
And I gotta ask
To do
you, Ed,
another-
because you have been in demand lately. Is this professional related, or Are you actually gonna go have a fun time?
This is professional.
I thought so. All right. I wasn't sure if it was Rockford, but all right. Very good.
They want me to do a presentation and the Rockford, Illinois is their experimental plant. So maybe we'll get to right there.
Yep.
And that'll be,
It has been very much in demand, lately, so it's good to be, neat. All right. Does anybody have, anything?
The other thing I
Yeah,
might
Andy?
mention with a couple of council members out, next meeting, it is important that we have a quorum for our meeting the 26th because we have an IGA to approve
That's right.
for the election.
Yep.
So,
How much
this
is
is
it?
So-
everybody else, as far as you know, gonna be here.
Yeah,
I'll be
so
here.
we know we'll be down to 5, and the minimum is 4.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I actually am gonna be, I come to the river that weekend, but I was
I'll be
I'll be
planning to do
like
that.
2 AM, I'll be like, I'm here.
I committed to Carmen that we would have a quorum
Yeah,
on the 26th.
all right,
Wondered my witness.
okay. All right, if there's nothing further, we are going to go into executive session, and I will say for the record that we, at the conclusion of the executive session, will officially be exiting our regular session. We'll be coming out of executive session only for that. So, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
See ya. Thank you for coming in to see us.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't, I am. No, it's well, that's- Right, sorry, we're not, no. She's a good player in that.
Hey, Andy, have you heard back from the forensic engineer?
Oh.
Engineer, the name of the one
Yes, we're just trying to get a date nailed down. So we have a
It's stifling
full
back there.
design, so the company come out and make some repairs, and do some assessment, and hopefully make some repairs, so trying to nail them down that date.
The HPRC meets next week, maybe? 20th. So if you guys have any kind of ideas, if you want to shoot them to HPRC too.
Okay, maybe like.
We're running the.
Okay, yeah, we just need a
Ready?
motion and vote.
All right.
Exec session.
Okay, I would move that we enter into executive session pursuant to CRS 26-6-402, parentheses 4, parentheses E, to discuss matters subject to negotiation and instruct negotiators concerning potential deed restrictions and the Block 57 development. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Kate. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right.
Sweet. And next,